Hello, Richard. How are you?
Hey, man. Can you hear me loud enough?
Oh, yes. Yeah, you sound great, actually. Can you give him a little more
volume?
More juice.
Maybe it's just another indication of my age. That sucks.
How about that? Is that a lot better?
You jerk me around, aren't you?
Is that a lot better now, Richard?
It's none of your business now.
Gee, thank
now
you.
It's personal.
Okay.
Yeah. Are we on the air, or what are we doing?
We're recording right now, as a matter of fact.
Oh, boy, you're in trouble. I've had 3 weeks, almost 3.5 weeks off for the first time in many years from the road, unless I was acting or trying to finish something writing-wise. And I just threw myself. It's hard for me not to it's hard to me to shut down my brain because I write all the time, and I have about 30 hours of material, stand-up stuff in my computer, and it's because I just can't turn it down. And luckily, I haven't gone insane, literally insane. So I lost myself in some TV series that I was told were the best, two of the best ever, and then I started Homeland. So I watched all of Breaking Bad except for the last 8.
Oh.
I'm in the fourth season of The Wire, and I'm in the first season of Homeland, and I'm thinking that's how I relax. The Wire, Breaking Bad, and Homeland. I feel like jumping off the Brooklyn Bridge.
Aren't they just phenomenal series, though, Richard?
So Breaking Bad, I mean, they both are two of the... They're different, okay? Breaking Bad is almost like, each one's almost like you're coming out of a great Kubrick film, like, whoa, and you sort of can't move for a while because it's so stunning. And then, on the other hand, The Wire is almost Shakespearean, that effort. I mean, it's unbelievable, and it's so gritty and so realistic, beyond realistic. It is realistic, and it's... the acting is great, of course, in both. And the Homeland, I'm only into a couple so far, but I'm already hooked. But, if that makes me relax, it speaks volumes for my therapist has been.
What I had said to you before when the volume... You do have enough volume now, right?
Yeah, I have enough volume to, if I didn't have to listen to me, just heard you, it'd be a much better thing for me.
Well, what I had said was, I'm the guy in Minneapolis. Whenever you do an interview on KQRS, I always have to say hello from Bo Caprell to you.
Yeah, I haven't seen Bo in a while, but we we hung out a lot, and back in the early days, and when he was in Los Angeles, and clearly one of the funniest cats I've ever known, and I'm sure he still is, and so send my regards if you see him.
I will definitely do.
I still have the restraining order.
And just one other quick thing, I was talking to Gina Gershon.
Another quick thing, and then you just go shopping?
No. I'm just going to turn it back over to you. It's just two people asked me to do this. So the second person, I was talking to Gina Gershon this morning, and she said to please say hello to you.
Oh, yeah, she's something.
She's wonderful. What a wonderful person.
Married. That's all she said?
No. Did you hear that she wrote a memoir?
Yeah. Oh, she did? Oh, really? Is she promoting a memoir? Oh, cool.
The name of her book. You ready for the name of the book, Richard?
How Come I Never Slept with Richard Lewis?
That was a great name. The name of the book is...
projecting.
Yes, exactly.
What's the name of the book? I'm sorry.
The name of the book is A Memoir, My Life with a Cat, How I Lost My Pussy and Found Love.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that title on...
Interesting.
I'm obsessed. I don't know. I'm not really savvy. I was Googling something about the debate, and then all of a sudden I saw I lost my pussy and a cat. Way out of my way.
That was part of the
No, I wish. She's. I don't know what kind of. I know she's a sensational actress. I'm sure it's well done. Did she write it on her own?
She said she did. I believe everything she says, so I'd assume she did. Yeah.
You don't think like Kobe Bryant helped her?
Yeah, well, that's a possibility. I didn't consider that.
I just threw Kobe's name up there as a joke. I don't trust any. You got to understand something. I've been home developing a film and something for the internet. Pretty big stuff if it happens, and preparing for a 6-city tour as stand-up. But since I didn't have to go to the airports and have people frisk me and look at my genitals while asking for an 8x10 for their niece.
Never know what you could be hiding.
To these I'm sorry, but I just threw myself into these 3 series, which clearly I understand why everyone, when I tweet about it at the Richard Lewis, I might add, people, it's for a couple of little things. It's just funny to me. And I just started doing this. I don't know what I have about. I'm closing in on about 100,000 people, and they're all over the world. And some of them, it's fun. Some of them are really funny people. I mean, some of them are just like, racist and anti-Semite.
Right.
So, but when you talk, you can get, if I get onto a good run, or I even have a book, my own book that's being pitched already. The proposal's done now. So I've been keeping myself busy, even though off the road, but mainly relaxing with these 3 high-powered, great series. And oh man, I lost the thread of it because you turned the volume down and made it freak me, didn't you?
No, we didn't.
What was I going to say? The people. When you tweet, I started taking it personally because I started looking at some of these celebrity tweets, like, "Hey, I just had a Reuben sandwich." Like, give a crap, And people want, "Oh wow, what kind of bread?" And I understand they love their stars, celebrity people. I get it, but for what it's worth, I've been doing this 43 years, and I have fans and everything, but I'm just who I am, and I just happen to go on stage and happen to be a comedian, happen to be on wherever. But I mean, I never did, and never will, and never wanted to be a celebrity. I just wanted to express myself. So I found that stuff insanely, mundane and dumb and just so ridiculous. So whenever I started doing politics or religious stuff, from the same person who went, "Hey, I can't wait to see you when you come play here," it was like, "You Jew son of a bitch." Anything with religion and anything with politics.
Oh, yeah.
And so then I took it personally, of course, and I went, "Hey, just woke up and yawned." Get like 3,000 retweets. Richard's yawning. I went, what am I even doing this for?
I know. Isn't it just a bizarre...
I'm trying to figure it out. So now I just philosophize on it and play with him a little bit. But it's not really a great place. I go do politics, like if you write essays or you go on, if you want to really take a stand, which I always have on when you're doing TV in front of 2, 3, 4 million at a time, or shows like this, and fine. But the tweeting is that social stuff. It's I got off Facebook fast. It's like, "Hey, remember I tried to rape your cousin? Can we get 2 comms at your concert?"
Jesus.
I got off that real fast. And I'm really, I'm paranoid to begin with. So this is a mistake. I think I got on these things about a year and a half. But Facebook, I'm off. That to me is scary crap, man. But, I mean, it's fun for people. Here's my cat eating my mother's hair.
You've seen my Facebook page.
I'd rather finish Crime and Punishment than read that crap.
Yeah, I understand.
It's still by the bed since I was 18. It's sort of sad. The pile by my bed now is... how tall is the pyramid in Egypt? Do you have any clue?
1,200 feet.
All right, I'm halfway there. It's really sad when you think about it. Assuming you want to read and you want to learn and get smarter, there's a billion books, and I was a voracious reader. But when I started doing stand-up, and things were coming out of my head, I really wanted to focus on my perspective on life and stuff, and not that I was going to, find comedy stuff in Dostoevsky that much, but or Hess. But I mean, I really didn't. I started to feel I had less and less time to read. And that's even without a family.
Right.
So, I mean, I was telling Dick Cavett, I can name drop now because I know practically. I did a little thing with him, and we're friends with him, and I've done his show a lot. Not the old show, but I was in college then. But I mean, he had cable shows, and we're good friends. And he's quite the intellectual, and so he used to read everything. And I remember once I told him I was having lunch with him a couple of days ago in L.A. He was out here doing something, and then he wanted me to do it with him on something, on some little TV deal. I don't know, whatever. So I did it. But I said, I'll always remember when Norman Mailer was on your show, who, Pulitzer Prize,
yeah.
550 novels, whatever, and all sorts of stuff. And Cavett had just seen this movie that was based on a book about some Japanese cat who committed harikari and some famous guy in Japan. I don't even know what he was, what he did. I mean, I forget. And he asked Mailer, "Well, did you read this book?" And Mailer, like, real gruff, how he could have been, for those who don't know, but he was a real tough guy, man, and as brilliant as he was, and had quite the reputation with women and all the rest, good and bad. And so the deal is, he started saying, "Hey, man, you can't write 40 books and just wake up in the morning and take a shower and then pick up a book about some Japanese guy who commits suicide. I mean, I don't have time." And I started cheering at the set because I was starting to feel like an illiterate, like, wait a minute, I don't have time either. I'm not, I'm not Norman Mailer, but I was a young comic, but I was starting to feel like I'm going down here. But I just really, I don't know why I'm bringing this up. This is hard. Why don't you edit this out?
No. Actually, I find it quite interesting because Norman Mailer took a lot of chances that nobody else would take. Unfortunately, in one of the instances, someone was killed by a man he got released from prison, if you remember that story.
I vaguely remember that, right.
But the executioner's son.
That night, and I didn't want to watch the news.
Right.
Oh, by the way, Richard, to show you what a bullshit artist I am, the Great Pyramid is 465 feet high. I was just trying to bullshit my way through it. Sorry.
Well, he believed you, so that's all that counts.
You're not taking peyote this morning.
I should be, maybe.
Yeah, well, I did almost every. I didn't. I stayed away from heroin, and I mean, I've been sober for 18 years now. Plus,
good job.
I mean, I stayed away from junk, smack, and the hallucinogenics. Except I did on the way to listen to the first Hendrix album at college at Ohio State. Someone gave me some opium, and I was really excited. And I was, for about an hour, I was smoking it, thinking I'd be in some kind of dream state, and nothing. My brain was either too evolved for it or too neurotic, and all I was doing was making lists like tomorrow, go to the cleaners.
Became normal.
I said, "This is." I was visualizing all these opium dens and all these cats stretched out there. I said, "This is about as close as I'll get to that other kind of heroin deal, which I didn't want to."
Right.
I said I would overdose, and the hallucinogenic stuff. Everybody was tripping, and I didn't. I just thought I would jump off a roof, and that'd be the end of it. And but I made up for it with everything else. We don't have to get into this drug stuff. It's a personal journey for everybody.
Right.
If your life becomes out of control over anything, eating, sex, you name it, then you got to try to moderate. I'll tell you, friends of mine who have problems with cigarettes or food in particular. Food is really a tough addiction.
It is.
Sugar is murderously hard. I mean, I know a lot of recovered junkies, hundreds, and they're telling me, stopping sugar and cigarettes is far harder than heroin. And it's true. It's true.
I don't think
I have a friend of mine who's a sex addict, but he's getting old now, so now he likes to talk about when he was a But I used to say to him, can you? I don't know. This I forget. This show is what are expletives? What's the deal here?
You can say whatever you want.
Whatever the fuck you want.
All right. Oh, thank you. That spoke volumes. No, so this guy was when he would I was a womanizer and a skirt chaser. That's like an old phrase, but and I cheated on practically everyone. I've been married to a wonderful. I met this great Minnesotan.
Yeah.
Proper adjective. So I've been married for almost 8 years, and I met Joyce about 14 years ago. So my life has changed a lot, and totally, or had to. I'd lose her, and but this guy. Divorced when he was in his 20s, so he was a sex addict, but with one person. It was very interesting to me because I would bounce from bed to bed. That was my deal, and I had to prove myself all the time. But for him, he was just into the act, but with one person. But for 18 hours a day, it was and he had a couple of kids, and I say, how are your kids? Are they running for Senate? Do you have any? It was just like if he was a drug addict or whatever else. I mean, he was just lost into this addiction. But that's a hard addiction. You can't call a guy up and say, listen, Billy, you're coming too much. And he would laugh at me. Well, you're not fucking enough. Trust me, I'm fucking funny. I got a career here. I got to go to Carnegie Hall in 3 weeks. I can't just, I can lay low, I sent my penis to a ranch. I got a massage in a week. They're UPSing it to me. This guy was so attached to that thing. It's unbelievable. Anyway, it caught me at a cool time, actually. I'm glad. I mean, I heard, it's great to be with all you folks. But I mean, it's really odd, man, to be 65, to have gone through all those 15, 20 years of really hard, crazy living with the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And by the way, not something I wrote, but there was a book out a few years ago that if anyone's remotely interested in the world of comedy, I know the film rights have been bought already, and I don't know if it'll ever be made, but who knows. But it's called I'm Dying Up Here.
Oh, it's wonderful.
It's really a great read. It's very sad for me because there's a tormented character in it that's true, that was my first connection in comedy when I was a kid in New York. But it really paints the scene about what it was like before there was proliferation of 800,000 comedians, and I'm sort of a hipster man, and I'm freedom of speech, the whole 9 yards. I'm not one of these guys getting older. I mean, I root for everybody, but the truth is, when you have so many comedians, there's so much things are stolen now more than ever, and everything is so derivative.
Oh yeah.
That it's only that you got to really be discerning to find the gems, and they're out there. But they're, you can get winded when you have to wade through all, And I'm speaking as a fan of a craft that's basically been at the center of my life, stand-up, and a passion. So, and I love the art form. So, but the truth is, you really have to wade through a lot of this shit because it, what I think it is that why I think it's gotten more difficult is that when, in my era, like in 71, there really was, by comparison, a needle in a haystack of comedians, like, Leno and Crystal and me and Freddie Prinze and Kaufman and Lane Boozer. I'm sure there were others, but if you can only think of 15 or 20, you know what I mean? And we only did it, most of us were broke, and we did it only to become comedians. That's it. And it was like us versus the world. Us versus Rickles and Carson and all those stars, and we felt like gypsies in a way. Like, what are we thinking? What are we doing? And it was really cool though. It was, I don't mean to be blow smoke up our asses, but I mean, it's like, we all go out, we listen to each other's stuff, and we tried to get on. The goal was then to get on with Carson and work on your 3 or 4 monologues before they came in and saw you, and we'd help each other, and everything is like, and then in the 80s, everything exploded, which was cool. Anyone who can make a living in the arts, I'm all for it, But what happened with that explosion was, and you got a lot of people that, it's like why guys, are taking all these steroids because it got so competitive. Yeah. Anything to give them an edge, and it's certainly for me, I was ripped off, like, not only my style and my rhythms and lines, but not just me, but other people too.
Right.
Tons of them. But it became that way, anything to get an edge, to get, But the main point I want to make, and I'll shut up on this boredom, is that to stand up, after the 70s to get a sitcom. I mean, I was already a stand-up 16 years before I got a huge break with a Jamie Lee Curtis show for 4 years. And, so 16, 17 years, I was a road warrior. I had no intention of caring about, getting a series, and that's, I think, a big difference. And I think that, the reason you caught me in a cool time here is that it's sort of an eerie place to be old and to say, wow, usually it was like, hey, I see the light at the end of the tunnel, man. We just sell this pilot or blah, blah, blah. Hey, this chick digs me, man. I think, she's going to groove and we're going to groove. I hope, we're good in bed, blah. That's all. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. But I've been through almost everything that I wanted to try, So now I'm seeing people, like Poltergeist, come to the light. I go, fuck you. Jack. So, I'm trying to do a lot of really important projects for myself, and stay sober and be a better husband. And I even and I was always petrified of animals. And I know that this last 6 months has turned me around. We got a rescue Maltese mix, this little guy, girl. And I'll tell you, man, I've had childhood trauma from animals, from dogs. And I won't go into it, but I've talked about it endlessly on stage because of my mother and how she treated it, and she was afraid to let the dog in the house, and the dog committed suicide. The whole ran away. She didn't want the dog to come in, and she, everything was covered in the house, and it was like one big condom. A condom. It was a bad joke. But, the deal is, we got this dog that was on the kill list. And, it reminds me of me being an addict, how people saved my life by helping me. And, and I know, even though I'm so, by nature, addicts are very narcissistic, needy. And I must say that I wouldn't mind a little thank you note from this little dog.
He was on the Green Mile, right?
I mean, she should be dead. I saved her ass. Every time she throws up, she's at the vet. It's $210 because she ate a rabbit's ear or something. But I'm putting up with it because I know that if she might not, she's being treated like a goddess here with Joyce and I, and I love her. But Joyce my wife is the master. Whoever walks her to shit or feeds her is the master.
Oh, yeah, that's
I'm
true.
just like a plaything. So I could be, tickling her and playing with her for an hour. As soon as my wife comes home, it's like, I'm jumping off you, Jew boy. I'm going to see your wife. If you hold me on your lap, I'm going to bite your ass, motherfucker. It's unbelievable if you're not the master. Bell rings, she leaps off me. I got scars all over me.
Oh, you do.
But I'm used to it. Now I get it. Now I have no expectations. I give her unconditional love like she actually do. And you're really talking to a guy who really is afraid of dogs, and I still am.
What's her name?
Huh?
What's her name?
Mistake. Her name is Bella Luna.
Oh!
Yeah, beautiful moon.
Oh. This is a coincidence. We have a rescue dog.
And they call it Central now, but old South Central, where, tough area in L.A. Yeah. She was on the streets for 3 years, and she had 2 litters, and so she was like, probably a prostitute and a drug addict. So now she's, it's hard to go from smack to bananas and cream and cream cheese and bagels.
That's why she throws up.
But she's digging it, I tried to pin a small skull cap on her once during Yom Kippur. I'm not that religious anyway, but Yom Kippur is big for Jews.
It is.
It is.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Tom here. For years, you've heard me talk about my friends at North American Banking Company. They have great online and mobile banking options, plus friendly employees who are always ready to help. And with their location in Maple Grove now open, it's even more convenient for me and my family. Go visit my friends at any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations or go online to nabankco.com to learn more. Why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. You all have helped build MyPillow into the incredible company it is today and have trusted in Mike Lindell to give you a great night's sleep. Mike's latest incredible deal is on the Giza Dream Sheets, which you've heard me rave about before, that's for sure. These sheets are made from the world's best cotton, Giza. They are ultra soft and breathable, yet extremely durable. Right now, the Giza Dream Sheets at its lowest price ever. These sheets are 60% off, coming in as low as $39.99 with promo code TOM. Our family, this is a family podcast. My wife, Catherine,
Hi.
daughter, Alex, and son, Andy, and my nephew, Sean. We do this with Tony Lee. And by the way, Tony, you got to pipe up here because Richard is...
No, I've been talking too much. I'm sorry.
No, not at all.
No, it's because...
I just saw... I'm in the 4th year of The Wire, and I just saw one before I called you, so I'm all hepped up here. The sofas for...
You know, one thing I will tell you, Richard, is when you're done with The Wire, you're going to be, God damn it, I'm done with The Wire.
I know, and there's 8 more of Breaking Bad, which is blowing my mind, and
Yeah, that's good.
And now, but people did talk about Homeland, and I started it, and it is pretty cool. But it's going to have to go a long way to be as good as these two. Because wow.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But we have a rescue dog. Our daughter and son, Andy and Alex, have a rescue dog.
How big is the dog?
Alex?
She's 10 pounds.
Oh, cool. What is it, a ping pong ball?
Yep. Exactly. No, she's a Yorkie Rat Terrier mix, and her name is actually Bella as well.
A rat terrier?
Rat Terrier. Kind of looks like a Jack Russell Terrier, like Wishbone.
I don't even know. I know nothing. So when I heard mix, I said, is it possible that some Maltese had sex with a Doberman?
It is possible.
I was going to say, wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility.
God, it's like this little cute little Marilyn Monroe head on the top of like a camel's body. I don't know anything about anything.
Yeah, it's not.
Hey, by the way, can dogs have orgasms when they have sex?
I assume.
I'm guessing.
At least the male
I
dogs.
asked that because my wife and I had like a 3-year window to have kids, back about 5-6 years ago. So I said, I don't want to be. I would have been, now my age with like a 7-year-old or something. I said, man, ain't gonna happen. I have a lot of nephews and nieces. They have like 11 children, 2 great grandchildren. My sister has 2 great grandchildren. So they're my extended family. But I say to my wife, who's really smart, and I'm not an idiot, but I'm so focused on certain things and politics and social issues, and it's not to have for a kid to say, "What's a crayon? What's wrong? I don't know.
Leave me alone.
Why is it raining down and not up? I don't give a shit, number one, Artie. I don't know how you do it.
Lewis.
I take my hat off to it and everything and you hear about, I'm sure there's single-parent homes. I'm not talking about it because of, the economy and the drug issues and all that stuff. I'm talking about in general. Sure, it'd be great for 2 parents to. I don't think it's great for parents to stay together if they're not digging each other, and I think the kids get that vibe. And as long as, the ideal thing is to have an amicable divorce and have a good situation.
Absolutely.
Look, but the deal is, I didn't want to. I don't know how you do it. I don't know. I'm worried about the drain now in my first floor shower, not about Artie's fever, so it's very it's not even that it's self-centered, just by the fact that I never had kids. I know so many recovered addicts with families and children, and I go, Jesus Christ, I'm worried about the plumber coming over it too. Really, that is living in a bubble. There's not because I'm in Hollywood, it's because I don't have the responsibility of taking care of children. So, I'm treating this. I'm going to try to teach Bella Luna to speak a few words so I can send it to at least a community college.
That's a good plan. By the way, I want to slip in a quick thank you to Joyce and her friend Ron Rosenbaum for arranging this whole thing in the first place.
Next, you never would have talked to us.
Joyce and Ron I don't like, so...
You don't care.
No, I know. She said something, yeah, so that's cool. Whatever. You can, edit me out and just you guys talk to yourselves, and it'll maybe be better.
No, I want to. No. I want to ask you two questions. I do have questions.
Ask me no questions, because I was afraid, you'd be on the spot,
No, I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Anything you want. I'm going to shut up and just answer.
Well, first of all,
true.
this is my personal opinion. I just want your take on it. Yeah, there are hack comedians out there that can get by and whatever and tell 6,000 masturbation jokes, and you get so fucking tired of it. But don't you think to be a really good comedian, you have to be very, very bright?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And I've had my share of masturbation jokes, but as long as they were, the premises were intelligent. Like I remember on a Conan show, once I'm masturbating now, but to a higher quality of women.
See,
and it was making a statement about that's how I was a sex addict, and that I was it was all weaved into my storytelling. But the truth of the matter is, do you have to be bright? I'm sure there's a lot of morons, but I hate to throw it just on prop comics. It's hard to not think that there'd be a higher percentage of morons who close the show with a toy poodle, blowing a giraffe poodle, Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. That's the poodle oral sex joke. Good night.
But you talk about guys like Greg Giraldo was one of my favorites, unfortunately.
A friend, I did an indie movie with him.
Wonderful.
Everyone tried to help him. It was a tragedy.
It was a tragedy.
Brilliant, smart guy. Funny as all hell.
Did he go to Harvard? I think he graduated from Harvard.
I went to law school with a director friend of mine. I'm not sure if it was Harvard. Was it BU? I don't know. It could have been Harvard. He certainly was smart as hell, man. Wow.
Yeah, and you got Paul Mercurio, graduated in a law degree from Georgetown University. I mean, there's so many guys in comedy that brilliant minds could have had careers in law or medicine.
Ohio State had a top business school. I wasn't there just feeding cows,
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
No, I didn't go to Harvard. I couldn't have. In fact, I tried to get into Boston University, and my SATs I just wasn't cut out for those tests.
Yeah.
I just was not. And
I understand.
I got really low boards, but I wanted to go to Boston U. I lived on the East Coast, and I was born in New York, raised in Jersey, and raised gives them a tremendous amount of credit. The bottom line is, they wanted to put me in, and I don't know the name of the school, but they said Richard could go to BU, but the first semester it has to be like, remember in Welcome Back Kotter, the special class.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like the special university for idiots who want to come. I went, this is where we were going to sit with dunce caps on, and during the football games. So I didn't go, and I somehow got into Ohio State, and it had a great business school, and I got in. I don't know how I got in. I don't know if my father was connected to the mob, but that doesn't.
Might have been the case. One never knows.
But look, there's a lot of comedians who I know as friends, who are just brilliant, and there are those who are less so, like me.
That's not true at all.
Whatever. I mean, the truth is, I don't know, and to be a great look, Steve Martin's, highly regarded, and he used a lot of props, and he was a master at it.
Right.
I just tease like prop guys a lot because I just more into the spoken word and I was, to me. Bruce and Pryor, and guys like Hicks, and these guys are, this spoken word and really edgy and have something to say. And I mean, there's so many, and Mort Saul, and that's all. I mean, Hicks had a tragic, lost him way too soon. But it's like, that's the kind of humor I just like, But the thing that's so unfortunate is that, and I see this firsthand when I play clubs. If I'm, they'll have an opening act and a feature act, and And I know they're basically paying to see me, but
right.
I don't like to listen to anybody or anything, and I'm very ethical. And in fact, I still have 2 live, huge concerts of Lenny Bruce that I hadn't listened to since I was in college or started stand-up. I don't want to hear him yet. I don't know what I'm waiting for, but because I'm just cut too much from that cloth. I mean, I remember, listening to a lot of these albums when I was a teenager, but I would never revisit them. And I don't watch, like, if someone says, like, Eddie Izzard, I don't know how he pronounces his name, and he's
Eddie Izzard.
I heard about him. I put on the special with my wife for 5 minutes. I went, all right, I'm out. I get it. He's unreal. And, I mean, you can tell real fast.
Right.
And I don't want to hear his head for 60 minutes. Now, I mean, you can imagine. Take a simple kind of example, cruises, people that do cruises.
Oh, yeah.
If you take any of these specials and I'll take the best 10 minutes of my favorite of Richards and of Eddie's and Ed Murphy and Pryor, and I don't mean to sound grandiose here, but just there's so many of Greg's. Just go on up again. You're on a cruise to Vietnam.
That'd be fun.
8 million miles away from everyone. People are drunk out of their minds generally on cruises anyway, and then they walk off, and then half of them die because the soup had rat poison. I mean, it's sort of sad. I don't know why you'd go on a cruise. 8 people's tongues fell out. There's an investigation. 8 people are babbling. What happened? I'll never go on a cruise. I don't care how old I get.
I understand. I was just thinking
but the point is, they can steal. And the thing is, when I listen to... Now, sometimes there's some really terrific comics who are starting out, and I hope for that. But I have no control unless I'm doing some concerts in Hollywood. Here in there's a place called Largo Coronet Theater, and it's a great venue. It's small, and everything. Sarah Silverman does it a lot, and Eddie, and everybody. It's a great place just to do like a concert, but with a small venue.
Are you doing a tour, aren't you?
Denny Sywell, who was a famous drummer, he was with Wings for a long time, and then with Paul, and so many, and a great session guy and a jazz guy. And he has a Denny Sywell trio. So I said, look, I want to have just jazz open up for me when I play here in Hollywood, at least, and because it was my show, so I could control it. But you can't control it when you're on the road a lot. And when I would listen to, by the time, let's say you had like Einstein's family was in the audience. If you happen to have the misfortune of having bad comedians, meaning that they're either, stealing material from other people or just blue and without any sense of premise or any point of view, that audience, for lack of the proper word, is so dumbed down by the time you get on stage. I just can't lean back and just even in jest, say, do a Walt Whitman poem.
Yeah.
If I had just come out, for some reason I can make that funny and go, I'm in a weird mood tonight, and then just do like a quick little poem and have people get scared that I'm having a breakdown.
Start running away.
Yeah, and but on an upbeat scale, I've done this. I have closed for. And they do it out of respect for my, long time in stand-up. Susie from Curb tours with JB.
Oh, yeah.
And with Essman. And I know Susie a long time. And they're really strong and funny as hell. And blue as all get out,
Yeah.
So if, I've developed some stuff to say following them. Because when you hear good night from Susie or JB, it's in front of 2,000 people, or whether it's 1,000, whatever it is, I just can't come out there and go, hey, how are you? I'm done. It's over.
You brought up Curb.
And that's why I don't do, I have so much respect, and I do, for the veterans, you have no idea, and for those who are serving our country. But one of the reasons I don't go on the aircraft carriers, I'd be like Bob Hopeless. I can't imagine these cats, hearing, I go, hey, I'll tell you, I just came from Passover, be the first USO American on the tour to be assassinated by our own. So I try other ways, personally, to help the bravest souls of the lot here for us, in my own way, and whatever, so I feel like I'm helping, and caring about the soldiers and the vets.
Well, that's a wonderful. That's a very.
Well, no, a lot of millions help, but I wish I could perform, but I just know I'm just not the right fit. It's just that simple.
No, I understand. I mean, like you being if you were a prop comic, you'd be a prop comic only if you had a different colored sport coat.
Babe, if I was a prop comic, I'd be on an aircraft carrier right now.
And a cruise ship.
Honest to God.
Tony Lee, you gotta ask a couple of questions. Tony adores you, Richard.
Oh, very much so.
I want to introduce you to Tony Lee. He's another member of the show. And he's a nice.
How many people are there about?
And he's singling me out because I'm a Hebe. That's why.
Well, I'm not a big fan of the word Hebe.
Tony.
But, why should we put ourselves down? We're always on the run anyway.
Tony is a nice.
Watching the Ten Commandments with my father in Radio City. I was about 5 or something.
Uh-huh.
And Chuck Heston was Moses, the deal, and in the desert for 40 years. And I said, Dad, what's going on here, man? What's wrong with these cats?
You're 5.
Why in the desert for 40 years? This is they're eating. They can't they just go to is there a municipal pool? Or can't they get a sandwich? And in hushed tones, he says, Jews. And that's what started it. And I'm not an organized religion person, but, Bob Dylan has this line. I also mentioned this, but it really, the first album, the only album he ever won a Grammy on, they don't call them albums anymore, but Time Out of Mind in 1997 it's such a spectacular album. It's almost like a dream state, the whole album. I'm glad it won in a big way. I've heard it millions of times from the beginning. It's one of those albums you listen to from the beginning to the end. It's like, Abbey Road kind of deal.
Right.
So, but there's one lyric in there. It's I was born here. But
Good one.
I won't sing it like Bob because it'll sound like Popeye. I was born here and I'll die here against my will. So I popped out a Jew. I could have popped out anything. So you learn who you are when you pop out. And when I learned about the history of the Jews, that was for real. Not for Holocaust deniers, but for real people that aren't, sociopaths, and anti-Semites. But I was just, sort of semi-teasing you before. I'm sorry, but
semi-teasing.
Tony's crying in a corner.
But the point I wanted to make was that once I studied about organized religions and this and that, and see all the, and how there's really no one really has a clue. And and speak and try to be humorous about it, and also make some sort of points. Nevertheless, the fact that I'm a Jew, I am proud because the Jews have really tolerated, and sure there's the right and the left, and is for in Israel too, but my God, I mean that state, which they actually did win spoils of war in '67.
Right.
I mean, with all due respect, when wars were wars, all right.
Yeah.
They won.
No, I understand. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I mean, they won, and and it started with Jews, and then religions came from that. I'm not talking about Mormons and Scientology, if they call that a religion. Listen. I thought Dianetics was a kosher cookbook, I swear to God. I didn't know, but it's a religion. So it's like 5 or 6 religions. Fine, cool, enjoy it, whatever gets you through the night. It's beautiful. But, religions have caused, how many hundreds of millions of deaths and murder and wars and all that, too. So that's why, I'm not a big organized religion, but fan. Really not. Why should I be? Look, it's caused so much damage and hatred, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, and pedophilia, and you name it.
Are you talking about politics or religion?
And death and murder and destruction since the time of the dawn of man. So, I don't know how anyone can be that thrilled about organized religion.
No, I understand, but I mean,
when I'm in Texas, I'm going to be playing Dallas in a couple of weeks, and I have really good shows there, and most of them are right-wing evangelicals.
Right.
And I discuss it on stage, and they laugh, but I don't mock people. I just try to understand it for myself on stage, and hopefully humorously. I mean, my goal is to make people laugh, not to want to hang me. To be honest.
Yeah, so I can understand that.
It's a good goal.
But I mean, being Jewish is a cultural thing as well. It's not just a religious thing. I mean,
absolutely. And being, listen, people don't like stereotypes. My Italian friends, my Irish friends, my gay friend, and this Jewish friend. Everybody, it does become sort of like a club. And and when people came off the boat, in Ellis Island, man, you better believe they wanted to hang with their brothers and sisters.
Right.
And why not?
No, you're absolutely.
If I came off the boat, and I was a Jew, I wasn't going to say, what I want to say, is anyone from Australia here?
Well, they spoke the same language.
I want to tell you.
Find out where there's the leanest corned beef.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust, who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
I want to tell you a very quick story about, I grew up in North Minneapolis, which at the time I was growing up, it was there was a neighborhood of Italians, a neighborhood of blacks, and a neighborhood of Jews.
Beautiful.
Right? So that's where I grew up.
Everybody mostly got along?
Yes, mostly.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. I grew up Roman Catholic, right? So one day, it was basically Plymouth Avenue was where I grew up, and west of Penn Avenue on Plymouth was a Jewish neighborhood, and then east of Penn was a black neighborhood.
Well, this is like The Wire here again.
Yeah, well, that's. I thought you might like this story.
A Wire flashback.
This is kind of like the deal.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So in any case, there used to be a drugstore called Desnick Brothers Drugstore, and the old Jewish men in that neighborhood always wore the coats with the black velvet collar and the Homburg hats.
They were Orthodox Jews,
and they smoked big cigars, right?
Right.
So I'm standing in front of the drugstore, and this old Jewish man comes out, and he's going to light his cigar that he just bought in the drugstore, and he looks down to the east. And there are all these kids, black kids, running, through the traffic, and they're jumping up and down and doing this, that, and the other thing, having a good time actually. But they shouldn't have been jaywalking, no question about it. But this old man's looking down the street, and this old Jewish guy looks down at me. I'm about probably 6 years old. He looks down, lights a cigar, and goes, "Kid, don't ever act like a schmuck like that," and walks away. And I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Are you blaming Judaism on this?
No, I think it was a good. It was a
no
good
blame, Richard.
Good
no
advice.
blame.
It was a good moment in my life because I thought to myself, man, I shouldn't be a schmuck like that.
Well, it could have come from an Irish guy. Could have come from a guy, an Islamic guy too.
Not in my neighborhood.
Well, the thing that's so unfortunate, is that the bad stereotypes for Jews. There's so many Jews in poverty, number one, and there's so many. For such a small percentage of the world population have achieved so much and given so much to the world. Number two, and also, just the other day, like Katzenberg and Geffen and Spielberg donated, I believe, $90 million to the Actors Home and for actors who are dying and
right.
$90 million.
All right, so, you weigh that against an occasional Jewish landlord stereotype. Bullshit.
Occasional.
That's what's going on. It's like the political campaigns. A guy will misspeak, and all of a sudden he's this and that.
I know.
It's a lot of crap, man. It's really hard to... You have to really be reasonable and sensible, and I'm not sure how many people are without hanging on for dear life or some meaning by attaching these stereotypes to other things so they feel that they have some raison d'etre for being on the planet that's circling around a fucking sun in infinity, and I'm going to have a nervous breakdown just saying it. But, I really do feel that people do, hang on to these stereotypes to give their own version of why they're here some more meaning, and that causes a lot of problems, man.
No.
Look, it's funny. I've gone to a lot of temples. Not a lot, but this year, like for different services for the high holy days here, and went to a very orthodox, service. And then I went to a very really reformed service where the cantor had a banjo.
No chauffeur, a banjo.
The deal is, it was the same message, but it was for Jews who really needed it to hear the reform. They didn't have, and didn't really want to hear like the old school version. And what I got out of that, and I have for the last few years, like if I'm going to hear something, as long as it's not preaching war and kill somebody and kill another, being intolerant of other religions, which I'm not. That's not the message I'm getting when I'm going to temple, at least. Mm-hmm. Is that I'd rather hear what allegedly was written way in the beginning of the religion. I'd rather really read if it was true. Let me read what Moses got from God, as opposed to a guy singing a couple of songs on the banjo. I don't know.
I understand.
I'd rather hear. I like the real deal.
Richard, you mentioned you're going out on tour. Are you coming to Minneapolis, St. Paul?
I hope to come there soon. I haven't been there in a while, man. It's like, one of the high points in my career was around the time I did Carnegie Hall and a lot of theaters that I wanted to get out of the way, really, and do. I played the Guthrie, not the one now,
the old one. Yeah.
God, I was at that show.
Huh?
I was at that show.
Were you really?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I was feeling great when I left. It was, it's just I love Minnesota, not just because my wife's from St. Paul, but there's a weird trip there, man. That people, everyone knows everybody else. It's like, it even gets down to it's surreal. My wife went to this campus when she was 6 years old, and she was in a bunk, and she saw, Dylan had etched his name out, Zimmerman, on the wall, and they kept it over there. And, it's like everything is very interconnected there. It's very weird, man. She slept with John, and then Tommy slept with Bill. Yeah, but they're divorced now, but their kids are dating, and, I know, he manages, and then Prince, and... and everyone, there's like, then all of a sudden everyone in Minnesota has 18,000 connections with Prince and his band. And
right.
It's but in a nice way, mostly, I was telling somebody the other day that before I met my wife, I was flying to Minnesota to do a gig, and we were in this little plane. It was in the first class section. It was hotter than hell, and like 8 seats, and pretty empty. But Prince was in the bulkhead on the left, and had a bodyguard next to him, about 300-pound guy, and I was behind him. And he's in like a fur coat, man, apple bird. It was really hot. I was in a black suit because I was, this is before I got sober too, so it didn't matter to me. And I'm there with my thousands of notes, and I met him once or twice. We're not friends, but I know a lot of people that are very close to him, and I admire him greatly. I really do. His shows are like, he's a perfectionist, and he's something. I I figured, and I was already on, done a lot of TV, and was in a series, and there's no way he didn't know me. Let's put it that way. That was my feeling.
Right.
I was, as I would do, hey, Prince. And then the bodyguard, he doesn't turn around. I go, oh, Jesus, what a shame. And the bodyguard said, Prince knows you're here, but he can't turn around.
Oops, sorry. There's
their dog.
I said, did he wrench his neck? I felt like, did he need some salve? He said, no, he just won't turn around. He's working. I go, well, I am working. I just want to say hello. He said, no. I said, fine. I found it laughable.
Well, it is laughable.
I wrote him a note. I'm like, Prince, it's Richard Lewis. I'm a foot behind you. I understand you can't turn around. And I said, but I'd love to say, I wanted just to bullshit with you, but, I hope you're well, and I think you're amazing, and blah, blah, blah. So then I get a note. The guy, I give it to the bodyguard, and he gives it to Prince. He reads it, and then he whispers something through the flaps. I don't know. He had like this whole, I don't know. He was so covered up, man. It was just really hilarious to me.
Now, Richard.
Like pink or purple or whatever.
Whatever works.
The guy says, Prince can't turn around, but he said that after your show tonight, meet him at his club at midnight.
Oh, okay.
I wrote another note. I know you can't, I can't thank you in person. But I'll meet you at your club, but make sure my name's at the door. So I gave it to the bodyguard and do my concert. I go to the club. No name.
Oh, Jesus.
So there you have it.
Oh,
what's the moral here?
The moral is fuck them.
If you see a genius dressed like Admiral Byrd, don't show up at the restaurant.
Exactly. Richard, please do come to town. It'd be so great to have you in town again on stage.
Huh?
I said it'd be great to have you on stage in Minneapolis, St. Paul again. You got to get here very, very quickly.
Why? Someone blowing up the city?
No. We miss you. That's all I'm saying. We're missing
cool.
you.
Yeah. Well, maybe I can, if Prince is there, I'm going to send him a note to meet me after my show.
I'll take care of that.
I'm just teasing the cat, man. He's a genius.
I understand.
Listen, it was really fun talking to all of you.
I just wish next time we could get more than 5 minutes out of you.
When I get a gig there, I'll just, I'll come in studio and we can maybe invite Prince to come down.
We'll do that. And then when you come to town, I assume Joyce will come with you, so I would
I'll be too paranoid to have my entourage is just the voices in my head.
That's it. That's
all you need.
Good people.
No, I have people at a distance looking out for me, but or in a very sudden way. But generally speaking, I'm a recluse, particularly when I'm performing. I spend hundreds of hours, weeks before a show, looking over endless amounts of new dysfunctions, and every show is different, and I ad-lib about 60 or 70% of every show. So it is, when I hear "Ladies and Gentlemen, Richard Lewis," I'll tell you, man, it's pretty frightening. But
sure.
That's the way I work, and they still want me. So I'm not going to change now.
Thank you very, very much. You're very.
No, it was a pleasure, man. You guys are great. You take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Richard Lewis, ladies and gentlemen. Buy online by going to the Amazon.com banner at TomBarnardPodcast.com. They don't charge you a penny more. A small portion of what they sell through our site helps support the show. It's what keeps the show free for our listeners. Click and shop today on the Amazon banner at TomBarnardPodcast.com. Holy Christ, was he amazing.
Yeah, he's a treasure. He goes, he takes the wheel, and he's gone.
Yeah.
Man.
I thought he was going to end after about 10 minutes.
I did too.
Like something was kind of going on there, and then it's like he just kind of hit a different level.
I love the fact he lit up Tony for using the word he.
I was really surprised. I feel so bad. I love the guy.
I'm like, oh no, Tony's in a corner rocking.
He's going to cry.
Oh, he lit me up.
Again.
I wanted to tell some tales. He's so wonderful.
Thanks a lot.
Well, you know what,
Tony?
We'll get him in studio. You'll have to come in studio when he comes to town.
And we had got a 15-minute Jew rant from him because we were looking.
Way to go, Tony.
He got a little defensive. Yeah, why did I say he? But I could have said anything else.
Anything else.
It's affectionate.
I think you were trying to be.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I do want to thank Joyce, Richard Lewis's wife, Ron Rosenbaum, whom we all know. The Heap Rosenbaum. But Ron worked very hard to get this done. And thank you to Catherine. Catherine worked for about a month and a half to get that done.
That's great.
Many
Yay,
emails.
Mom!
Let me tell you.
I honest to God didn't think you were going to pull it off.
Yeah, that was really one of the highlights of the podcast.
Richard, if you're listening to this ever, you were amazing. Unbelievable.